Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Big Chill Podcast. This is episode 850. Whooped out. Hello, Big Chillians. Welcome back to the Big Chill Podcast. I'm Frank, joined as always with the paddle expert, Eddie himself.
Yeah, it's three days of paddles last week. I'm fully immersed in the paddle culture.
You're hooked.
Yeah.
Now, is it like the CrossFit culture where supposedly everyone is just hooking up with everyone because they're basically naked with their shirts off? Is this why you're attending? Are you hooking up with your 80-year-old partner?
I haven't experienced that yet. My partner is not 80. My partner is probably in his mid-50s, possibly 60.
Okay, young, super young.
Yeah, he's in good shape. So he could either be, I'll put it this way, he could be like 65 and just be a very, very fit 65-year-old. But then he could also, if he told me he was 52, I would believe it. He's sort of in that range where I think he's retired. So that's the thing that makes me inclined to say more 60s and 50s. But he is Croatian. He's,
Wow.
Yeah, we've played together twice now. We played together last Thursday, and then when we met each other, and then we played again together on Saturday. He booked a court, and we played against two other guys.
So this is like you played together, and then he was like, "I want to play with you more." So then the next time it was literally just like it wasn't like a bunch of people come together and play each other.
So the Thursday at my club, they do this like promotion relegation thing. So
Yeah,
you say
you
you
move
want to
up and down the ladder.
Yeah,
With new
and you go
partners.
for you go for an hour. You stick with one partner, but your partner is random, although I think a lot of people do play with the same partner every week. But so I went and I got my random person and we did that. And he got very upset. He hadn't even registered to take part in this. He had just turned up. And I was waiting. I was on the waiting list because I'd signed up late because I'd only started doing this on Tuesday. And so, I was on the waiting list for both hours, and for the first hour, I was number 5 on the waiting list. There's 16 people are supposed to play, so if you're number 5, you're not getting on,
Yeah.
like, there's no chance. But for the second hour, I was number 2, that felt more realistic that 2 people might not show up. And so for the first hour, like, actually, when everything started, I got on court and was warming up with this guy, and then the guy organizing it said no, and we went away and played by ourselves, and for an hour, and then came back and played. He got very annoyed with the coach. He was like, "I'm here.
Oh,
I wanna
boy.
play." And the coach was like, "I understand you wanna play, but there's people who've signed up, and I organized this, and I have to respect the people who said they were gonna play and turned up." And he's like, "I understand, but I'm here, and I want to play."
And you got
So
the a-hole partner.
so I kinda separated myself during those conversations and tried to make clear that I understood that I had put myself. And then what was great about it too is he was like, "Oh, okay, so you're here, you wanna play, you're on the list?" And he was like, "Yes, I'm on the list." He was like, "What's your name?" And he said his name, and the guy was like, "You're not on the list." He's like, "Are you in the WhatsApp group that signs up?" He's like, "I'm not even in the WhatsApp group." He goes, "So you're" the guy's like, "So you're not on the list?" He was like, "No, but I wanna play." So we went away, we came back, we did play afterwards. We had a record of we won twice and we lost 3 times, although the 3 times we lost were to the same pairing. So basically, we
Ooh,
started on a court against these people, we lost. We went
went
down, we
down, went up.
won, they
Yeah.
lost, and we just kept meeting at the same on court number 2 over and over again,
And
and
of
never
what
beat
age was
them.
that team?
Probably in their 40s. I think a
Super
husband and
young.
wife. The husband was good, and the wife was also pretty good. Like, there was no weak. And I was trying to figure out, like, how it worked tactically. So I was quite passive in terms of what I was doing because I just wanted to get a sense of I was more watching, and at this point, my partner doesn't have much more experience than me, but he has a little bit more experience than me. Former professional ping pong player. That's his background.
Are you
He
serious?
Yeah, yeah,
So you have a former professional ping pong player and a good amateur tennis player playing paddle.
yeah. He represented Yugoslavia, to give an indication of his age, because that hasn't been a
This
country
is amazing.
since the early '90s, in ping pong. So he Yeah, so he's, again, good hand-eye coordination, good technique, but, for example, everybody, like we spoke about with pickleball, almost everyone stacks in paddle.
Yeah.
He was like his mind was blown by this. And I suggested at a certain point, like, maybe we should stack because everybody else is doing it. So obviously there's an advantage. And he was like, no, 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 I have to serve from this side. I was like, I know you have to serve from that side, but I can also stand on that side and then you move to the other side. He could not comprehend what I was trying to explain to him. I was like, it's not like tennis where we have to be on our designated sides. I can stand wherever I want while you serve from your
Yeah.
position. And he couldn't get it.
Eddie, are we
And
sure about
then
this partner choice?
no, because then when we played again on Saturday, nice guy, and I'm gonna keep playing with him in the sense that he, like, wants to play, and I'm happy to take play as much as possible. On Saturday, when we played against these 2 guys, one of whom is, I think, one of the best players at the club in the sort of 50 to 60 range, and then the other guy was decent, but not amazing, also probably around 50. We played 6 sets, we lost all 6 sets. We won games and we were in most games. So games like we were winning points every game. But fundamentally from a tactical perspective, I got pretty frustrated with him. Where it would be things like uh you'll have same as pickleball, certainly the same as tennis. You'd have a moment like say I'm at the net and he's not. I would poach a little bit. I'd go on that side. So I would yell to him, switch. So he goes to the other side. And he would refuse. He was like, "We never switch." I was like, "We have to switch sometimes." Like, because sometimes my momentum has taken me all the way onto your side of the court, and it's way faster for you to go to the other side than it would be for me to recover and go back, and we're losing every point when that happens, and or, for example, he would get lobbed and I was already at the back, so I would go to play the lob and I would say, "Switch. You just get to the other side. That's all you gotta take care of." He would
Yeah, yeah.
refuse. It was quite a
Well,
frustrating
he's used to
experience.
ping pong. Ping pong's a
Yeah,
singles sport.
no switching in ping pong. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But it's fun, I'm getting marginally better. I still haven't quite figured out the serve. Similar to the pickleball idea of, like, trying to get the underarm serve that kind of causes people issues is a little
It's an
tougher.
underarm serve. It's like pickleball.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to bounce it.
We have to
It's
bounce it.
yeah, very similar to pickleball in that you then have to hit it. The ball can't bounce above your waist, and you have to make contact with the ball below the waist.
Yeah.
So it's quite a similar pickleball serve to paddle serve,
Oh,
technically
then I'd be in.
speaking.
I'd be set.
Yeah. The
As
only
if I don't
difference is
bounce.
the only difference too is, right, you got the walls. So the ideal serve most of the time is kind of trying to corner the person in their wall. So you want your
Oh,
serve like bounce just before the wall is kind of what you're going
I like
for.
that.
Um, so yeah, that takes some getting used to, but it's a lot of fun. I have never done anything I think that's made me sweat more. That I will say. Like on Saturday played 2 hours and 15 minutes, and that wasn't too bad because I was playing it late at night. It was kind of cold because I started playing at like 6 p.m. and played till just after 8.
Are you playing
But
in the indoor thing in the bubble?
it's not it's the thing with the roof, but though there's no walls on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. The facilities are really nice. But on when I played on the Thursday, there was a moment I was wearing my hat. I was wearing that University of Arizona hat. There was a moment when I pushed the hat and then just the wall of sweat like dripped down my face from the it was gross. Like it was legitimately a gross experience. It's like that's not good. But it's good fun for sure. Um
And they don't play singles. It's all doubles.
yeah, I think singles is I've played singles to warm up and stuff, but yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
doubles only game.
Interesting. So you're currently maybe looking for a new partner.
Well, I wanna get a partner ideally my age too, but because I also wanna have a somewhat social element to it. I
Gonna
and,
be a little
like
tough, I think. There's
yeah.
probably 3 of you out there.
No, there's a lot at the club. The problem is those guys already have partners, and those are guys who are less likely to then be in the sort of pickup environment. Those are
Yeah.
people who are there's like 4 guys, all of the same age. They play each other every Wednesday, and they enter in tournaments, and that's all they're doing. So to try and kind of break into that group, I think it's gonna be more challenging. I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
have
have
to
to call
hope.
someone out. Find the weak link and call them out.
I think I have to keep
This is your
playing.
partner? I guarantee you I'm better.
I think I have to keep playing in the, like, the sort of inter club tournaments and hope through that someone goes like, "Hey, you're not bad. We should, like, join our group," or, "I don't have a consistent partner at the moment. Let's play." So I just have to keep turning up as much as possible and hoping. But
Yeah.
they did ask me about pickleball. The 2 guys I played against in paddle afterwards were kind of walking away, and then they asked me how long I'd been playing paddle for, and I was explaining, and then I was like, "Yeah, and I grew up in the US." And he was like, "Oh, do you play pickleball?" I was like, "I've played with friends. I haven't played that much." And he's like, "'Cause the pickleball courts here," he's like, "I don't think they're regulation. The bounce doesn't seem very consistent." The ones, that you played on. I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
they do seem a little iffy, but they're not bad." I mean, it's pickleball. I don't think you gotta worry about it too much, but yeah, you do get some dead bounce spots for sure.
So what language do you speak with your current Czechoslovakian partner?
Czechoslovakian, Yugoslavian.
Oh,
He's
Yugoslavian.
he's Serbian now, I think.
Oh,
Although
geez.
it's unclear if he's actually Serbian or he sort of tells people he's Serbian, but he's actually from a different Balkan state. That bit, as I've had conversation. So we speak in together in French. We text each other in English because he initiated the text. He sent me like a WhatsApp in English when he said he'd booked a court and asked if I wanted to play on Saturday. But then when we're one on one, he says he speaks 7 languages. So
Wow.
yeah. 'Cause he lives 6 months in Spain and 6 months in the Paris area.
So are you gonna move to Spain with him and
Yeah.
play there?
Yeah. Which is where I think the paddle standard in Spain is significantly higher, so that might be a step up that's beyond me. But, yeah, it's good. I ordered some balls yesterday. I did I did steal some balls from the coach. So that was because I realized I didn't have any balls like, on Thursday when I was playing and he just had a big, bucket of balls. I was like, "I think I can just stick a couple of these in my pocket and have these good to go for the next time," but I went on Amazon yesterday and ordered some new balls.
When is your first upgrade on your paddle? It's
I
coming
did buy
soon.
a
I know you already looked. I know you've already looked.
I did buy a reasonably good one to start off with. I mean, because paddle rackets get really expensive. They run to, like, €400. So and I spent maybe like 150 in a sale back in the summer. So I feel reasonable with it. But there's definitely gonna be a moment where I have to because I think as I learn my game, I'll have to get a racket that, like, is more suitable for the style I wanna play.
It's
I
happening
think I
within
could
2 months, the latest.
I no, I think s summertime maybe. If I'm playing 2 or 3 times a week, the other thing the math I'll do in my head as well is that I know there are gonna be times when either someone's visiting or someone's around who wants to play with me, so having 2 rackets is not the worst thing, and that's gonna be
I
the
was
thing that
literally just gonna
convinces
say
me.
that. I was gonna say
Yeah, like
your, like, incentive could be, like, if I come in June and we
yeah.
wanna go back and I wanna play, then you need a second racket.
Yeah. So, like, that's part of it too. It'll be like, yeah, it won't be the worst thing in the world to have 2 rackets. So, that's yeah, we'll see. Speaking of purchases and upgrades, obviously, I did start using the Whoop that you had given me last week. It has been on my wrist ever since then. I've been enjoying kind of looking at the app and kinda getting a breakdown of my workouts, my consistently on a daily basis, it telling me that I have not slept enough, which is fun every single day. Just a reminder that, "Hey, tomorrow you should try and sleep more." Basically, I think it's telling me I should go to sleep now if I wanted to get enough rest to
Yeah.
make up for the sleep that I had last night.
I love
Um
those ones where it's like, "You put in a lot of stress today. you should think about getting to bed, and they'll give you the time, and it's like 7:45
Yeah.
PM, and you're just like, I'm not even eating dinner before
Yeah.
7:45. Like, what
And
is
what
wrong with you, Whoop?
and sometimes too, it's saying like, "You should go to bed." Oh, you work like, say when I played paddle on Saturday and I finished at 8:15, it was like, "Oh, that was a good workout. You've had a heavy load today. You should consider getting to bed even earlier to make up for your rest." And the recommended bedtime was like 15 minutes from when it's like, "What do you think?" "Oh,
Yeah.
better hop straight into bed then." Like, but unfortunately, I think my time with the Whoop is over though.
Why?
This is So I've really liked it. I like the fact that I like the data that it gives me. I actually like that it makes me feel like I'm accountable to something. That you kind of as you're looking at that data and you're kind of building trends, it feels like you sort of have to keep it happy, as dumb as that is.
Yeah.
However, I want I don't think for me the I don't care so much about the analytics relating to sleep and recovery and all of that. So, because I know it's gonna just tell me every night, "Bad sleep." That's just gonna be the way it's gonna go. Nor am I sort of preparing myself for running a marathon, so I really need to think about when am I timing my workouts and when should I have a rest day or, like, I don't think that's a big concern for me. So to talk about what it made me do and irrational purchases, I just bought an Apple Watch. I was like, "That's" I was like, "Do you know what? I like this data, but I don't need to." I was doing the math in my head. I was like, either I'm gonna get I'm because the annual subscription here per year in euros is like 260 euros a year. It's even more expensive than the US. And I was like, do I want to spend in the next 2 years? I'll spend 520 euros. Plus, I was like, I'm going to have to get myself a different strap because I'll want like a more water resistant one if I'm going to swim with it and stuff. And so I was like, I'm going to be all in over the next 24 months for 600 to 700 euros of Whoop spend, or I can spend
That's
450
insane.
euro. But that's, or I can spend 450 euros on an Apple Watch and kinda get what I want out of it,
It's
and
so the Apple Watch is for generics. You're not getting any of the cool, like, strain data and, like, I agree with you. I don't really use it for the sleep very much. I do like to just see when I do get a good sleep and see if it actually was a good sleep. Like, when I wake up and I think to myself like, "Oh, I think I slept pretty well," and then you can see like, "Oh, actually, you didn't wake up. Your efficiency was good." But the thing I look at it the most is, like, after I do a hockey game or something like that, I'll see like what my heart rate looked like and things like that, and look like what the strain was on those. That's what I don't ever, and I've told people this. I like it because I like to see the data. I've never used it to change anything I do about any aspect of my life.
yeah, what a ringing endorsement. But I agree with you, and if I were playing a sport like hockey or a sport where I felt I couldn't wear an Apple Watch whilst I was doing it, then that would be more of a factor. And yeah, the nice thing with the Whoop is it's 24/7 wearable, charge it while it's on, never I could one of my only other considerations is I do actually wear another watch. And it's like, well, now I'm gonna have to choose between the Apple Watch. I'm not gonna
Oh
double
boy.
watch. I'm not fucking Mr. Wonderful, and I'm gonna have 2 watches on. That was and I'm not gonna sleep with the Apple Watch on, even though it does still do the sleep scores now. Apple's, like, brought that in. But as I said, I don't care. I know my sleep score is gonna be really bad.
Well, you know what?
So
Maybe this is a wake up call, Eddie. Or like literally a wake up call.
or no, go to sleep
Maybe
call.
after
I think it's the
every
opposite.
device tells you sleep like dog shit, maybe you should start sleeping better.
But it's, uh what what I would say is that I don't, um how to say it? I think I get everything I need, like, with the I kinda did a little bit of research about it, and I was like, "I think I'll get everything I need, and I'll get more real-time data," which sometimes is more interesting to me, and I can wear my Apple Watch during all of the exercising and stuff that I do, so there's no issues on that front, and yeah. And I actually feel like I just see Whoops everywhere now. So I feel Whoops are more basic than the Apple Watch.
No, Whoop's the athlete's heart rate monitor.
Okay. See a lot of non-athletes with Whoops on. But that's and you know what? I get Whoop is more than welcome to sponsor this podcast at some point. I'll give a negative review to Whoop on one thing. I'm enjoying it. I'm still wearing it, still got it on until my Apple Watch arrives tomorrow, and then it will be and then it's gone. So I went to cancel because I'm still in the free subscription, but I was like, I better cancel because otherwise I'm gonna forget to cancel, and then my card's gonna get charged 2 months from now. I'm gonna be like, "Oh, fuck." So I went to cancel. Canceling your Whoop subscription, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Not a not a great look for Whoop. I'm gonna tell you this now. If a company that's, like, all about transparency and we're just in the in for the interest, we're the athlete's heart monitor, as you'd like to phrase it, a little scumbaggy when it comes to, like, how do I cancel this? So, for example,
Interesting.
you cannot cancel your subscription in the app. So the
Oh,
thing
you
that
have to,
you
like,
own
email them, right, or something?
No, you have to go through a browser. So you have to go to, like, app.whoop.com in a browser. So even though everything you've done up until now is purely app-based, signed up via an app, you can order stuff via the app, you can do everything when it comes to spending more money with Whoop via the app. But when you wanna spend less money, now we're gonna make it hard. And then when you go, "I'd like to cancel," it does the usual, "You sure you wanna cancel?" You could pause. "No, I wanna cancel." "You sure you wanna cancel?" You could downgrade your subscription. "No, I wanna cancel." "Are you sure you wanna cancel? If you wanna cancel, please take this survey." And it makes you take this, like, 6-question survey in which it basically accuses you of being poor for canceling. I took a screenshot of the questions because it was outrageous. Questions include, "What's the primary reason for you deciding to cancel your Whoop membership?" Option number 1, "I can no longer afford the subscription." Option number 2, "I had a life change that made it difficult to use the product. Pregnancy, injury, work, etc." It's basically like, "I am the problem," is what Whoop
Yeah,
wants to tell me. Like, "You don't wanna use a Whoop anymore? Something's going wrong in your life." Like, that's it
that's
makes you
probably true.
feel it makes you feel like absolute shit as you go through the cancellation process. It takes a solid 20 minutes. This is even if you know what you're doing, which I had to literally watch a YouTube video of someone showing me how to cancel my Whoop subscription. Unbelievable.
Hey, that's why I'm never gonna cancel. I'm in,
Hey, you
I'm a
won't be able to
lifer.
figure it out. You know? So, like and look, they do the usual. If you will give you a 10% discount. That's my only recommendation.
Oh,
Threaten to cancel, 10% discount on your next renewal. If you want
so now you're
20 something
wearing 2
bucks off.
watches and a Whoop.
Yeah. Got a Whoop everywhere. Just strapped all over me. Got like 9 Whoops on me. Now,
What, so what ended up being like, what's your, like, your heart rate variability?
so I haven't worn it. The heart rate variability has, like, never really worked for me.
What do you mean?
I don't know. That's like the one stat. So it just maybe I haven't worn it for enough days yet for it to have that data because some things take up to 6 days. I'm not there yet. And I'm not sure which ones are which, but so, like, everything yeah, I mean, it says that my sleep yesterday was 81%. No, that's my best sleep of all time, was 81%.
If you go to
Of
the like, the starting app, click the recovery in the top middle, like, your percentage,
Mhm.
and then it should say, like, your stats right there. Do you not have that?
No.
Like,
Oh,
so if I
which one? Resting which one? Heart rate variability?
yeah, it should look like that, no?
No, it doesn't look like that for me.
It must take a few days then. What's your resting heart rate?
59.
Hmm, it's not bad for a 70-year-old.
With a low of 51 and a high of 65 as a resting heart rate.
That
But
must have been a bad day. You had 65. Oh my
but
god.
then the problem is because it's measuring your resting heart rate really when you're sleeping, right? That's when it's calculating your resting heart rate. So the
It
issue might be if
depends, yeah.
there's a day when I didn't sleep much, it's gonna impact that measurement a little bit. Yeah, it
Oh,
did I
once
did
again, Eddie, maybe that's an indication that you could sleep better.
I did enjoy that, and I know you've mentioned this before. I do like I was just watching sports and it giving me like, oh, strain. I was like, "No, this is"
Yeah.
I'm sitting on my couch, but it's like picked up on a slight raise in my heart rate as I've like watched a horse race. And then been like, "No, no, oh, you need to rest immediately." It's like, "No, this is not a good sign." But
Yeah, that's what it's
yeah.
fun for.
Yes, yeah. But no, it's I don't know. I've not filled in my journal very much either. Um,
Yeah, I don't do it too much either.
uh
What, what's the highest amount of strain you've gotten up to?
Oh, like 19 point something?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
19.2, I think,
That's
when I was
crazy.
playing paddle.
That's
So
crazy.
my strain today is 3.3. I haven't done much
Yeah,
so far today.
it won't go high until you actually do something.
I mean, that's just I went into an office today in the morning. That's the extent of my strain, and I walked my dog twice. But, uh, yeah, so, like, all the health monitoring is still calibrating, it says, like, when I look at the app.
Oh, so you don't have, like, your Whoop age?
No, still
Oh, you've
calibrating.
gotta wear it till you get your Whoop age. I gotta
I've
see
not
what you are.
I've not done enough days yet. My stress
You gotta do
monitoring
it. Just put it on until at least you get your Whoop age, then we can cancel it.
and yeah.
I
Oh, no,
wanna
my
see what it
stress today
says.
my stress today is 0.8, so it's low. So I had a low stress day so far.
Oh, we gotta see what your Whoop age is. So for those who don't know, your Whoop age is like Whoop will calculate, like, kind of like what your like, how healthy you are compared to your age, so it'll tell you, like, what your health age is. So, for instance, my Whoop age is 36, so I'm almost 4 years younger than my actual age, like, on how f like, my health span or how fit I am. We gotta see what yours is.
Well, we'll see if tomorrow it's going off my wrist. So whatever it can calculate by
Oh,
tomorrow.
come on. Just wait
I'm
till you
not
get it.
wearing but yeah, we'll see.
For instance, my max strain in a day ever is 20.2.
Well, I nearly beat you in less than a
Yeah.
week. I mean, in fairness, I guess 2 hours and 15 minutes of, like, pretty much nonstop paddle should make sense for a pretty high strain day, and on top of it, I did other stuff over the course because that's like a day calculation, isn't it? That
Yeah,
or
that's
is
the
that
whole
like
day.
yeah, and, like, that was Saturday, so over the course of the day, I went to the supermarket and I walked the
Well,
dog
that's not the
multiple
high strain.
times. I'm still moving around, carrying bags, you're, like, doing stuff, walking the dog a couple times. I'm just saying from a cumulative perspective, if you then also uh, throw in all of that, but we'll see. I wore it in the sauna. It was interesting to see how it
You can
adapted to
put
my
that in
sauna.
as an activity.
I did.
Nice.
I did. I mean
You could do
but yeah.
massage too, which is weird because it's like, who's keeping their whoops keep
Yeah. I mean, I guess the idea they really want you to never take it off, right? I forgot to tell it where I was wearing it at first. I presume it defaults to wrist, but, like, I forgot to, like, say it was actually being worn on my wrist, for a little bit. But whilst we're on the topic of racket sports or well, I'll give you I've got either racket sports or I've got
Okay.
a surprise for you.
Oh,
Which would you like to go with?
let's do the racket sports. I'm assuming we're
Okay.
gonna talk about the Australian Open final.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So the 2 finals, women's final on Saturday, Rybakina beat Sabalenka in 3 sets. Pretty good final. I guess a kind of nice, Sabalenka is sort of turning into a little bit of a heel in women's tennis, so
Ooh,
maybe nice to see her not win. And then, yeah, the men's final, Djokovic against Alcaraz on Sunday. Djokovic won the first set, looked like he might actually be able to pull off. We recorded on Thursday, and then Friday morning he beat Sinner, came back from
yeah.
2 sets down against Sinner, and improbable from the start, even more improbable when you then put Sinner 2 sets up. And the shame was, I think, kind of similarly how we spoke about the prospect of the Broncos winning the AFC Championship game and then the Super Bowl. It sort of felt like winning 2 of those in a row was definitely gonna be beyond, um, Djokovic, and so, he wasn't. It looked for a second like he might be able to pull it off, but just tiredness really kicked in. The 4th set was not particularly competitive. He was struggling to win. He only lost 2 points on his serve in the first set, so he was really in command. And then as the match wore on, he was just struggling to win points on his own serve and really not doing too much damage to Alcaraz's serve as it went on either. So still, kind of nice for him to prove that he is still highly competitive, to beat one of them on the path to the final. And it does
Yeah.
raise an interesting point. There's always this discussion, we spoke about it a few months ago, where it was like some former players saying, I actually don't think that I think peak Alcaraz would beat peak Nadal, these kind of discussions. Kind of throws that argument a little bit under the bus. Like, if you think that these players in their prime would beat the big 3, big 4 generation in their prime, then how come they're struggling to beat Djokovic when he's 40 years old? Like, I can't reconcile those 2.
It
It's tough.
wasn't the
It's a tough.
hugest struggle though.
He
I mean, he
Well, one
lost
of
the
them
first set
lost.
and then kind of yeah, I guess
No, but
Sinner lost, yeah.
one of them lost. So one of the big 2 lost, and then the other one only won, and he didn't just brush him aside
Yeah.
in straight sets. So, like, it's I don't know.
I mean,
It's
what I thought was interesting about it too was, I mean, you had Djokovic who had a pretty long match against Sinner. That was like what, like a 4-hour match they played.
yeah, super long, yeah.
But then Alcaraz had, I think, like a 5.5 hour match against Zverev in his semifinal, and he was cramping and a lot of issues. And then so going into the final, both guys had a pretty tough semifinal, pretty long semifinal, where fatigue and endurance might come into it. And you can see that it's nice to be young and be able to get your whoop recovery a little higher the
For
next
sure.
day, because I mean that clearly affected Djokovic. I mean, he won the first set like you said, but then started to kind of not fall apart, but like the the gas tank empties a little quicker when you're 40 versus when you're Alcaraz's young, fit age, even though you had a tough match 2 days ago.
I think too, some of it was just as tough as, Djokovic has as good of a mentality as probably almost any athlete in the modern era. But I think he was resigned to his fate once he went sort of 2 sets to 1. Once he was broken in the 3rd set, I think he just realized. And on top of it, he was then broken at the very end, the second time at the very end of the 3rd set, which meant Alcaraz served first to start the 4th set, which just meant he was always gonna be coming from behind in that 4th set, which puts added pressure on you. So I think part of it too was just an acceptance of, maybe if he'd been able to get 2 sets up in front, he could have chosen when he was gonna use some of that energy. But the idea that he had to go kind of, you know, pedal to the metal the remainder of the match was not going to work for him. So I think there is an element of that. But any post match kind of gave a speech that implied that maybe that was his last time at the Australian Open. But as with Djokovic, he refuses to say. He kind of hints at it, but doesn't make it clear, which I also understand. His statement was, we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone 6 months or 12 months from now. And I think it's fair enough at that age where maybe he hopes to come back another time, but he doesn't know. Like, an injury at this stage would end his career, if it's a significant one. So he's probably just aware of that. But still good. You obviously alluded to Alcaraz's cramping in the semifinal, where he got theoretically illegal medical help He got a medical timeout during his match against Zverev when it was clear he was cramping. He was complaining about he very smartly said he had an issue with his groin and implied to the trainer that he needed help for a groin injury, but then was also sort of eating the pickle juice gels that they get to help with cramp. You know, it was obvious he was cramping. Zverev was very animated in his complaints because you're not supposed to be able to get medical timeouts for cramp. It's supposed to be specifically for actual injuries. And Zverev's right. At the same time, if you're Alcaraz, I think that's what you do. Like if I was out there playing, I would try and get the medical timeout if I could. And I don't know what
Yeah.
you do as a trainer who is, just employed by the Australian Open, the doctor who comes out, because you run the risk. You either call the athlete on it and say, I think you're cramping. I can't treat you. But then if he like rips his groin in the next game, you don't look great as a doctor. So you're put in a kind of awkward position where everyone knows what's happening, but it's difficult for anyone to stop it.
Yeah, it is tough. I I think it's just as Zverev, you kind of just have to be pissed off, but know that this is gonna like people are gonna stretch rules any way they can to win. So I don't know.
Yeah, and Zverev would, Zverev who never retires. Like I actually guess as unlikable as a character as Zverev is in some instances, he's a pretty tough cookie. Like he battles it out. He's had injuries and he keeps going. Yeah, and so in many ways, some unfortunate, I suppose. But he maybe is one of the few tennis players who can complain about something like that and has a leg to stand on, so to speak, because he at least he shows that maybe he wouldn't do that. Maybe he does have a sort of honor in his thought process about injuries and trying to play and trying to keep going. Maybe he wouldn't have. Maybe he would have just limped his way through some cramp for 4 games and lost the semifinal, but who knows? And then the other talk, don't know if you saw the director of the Australian Open, there is conversation surrounding the possibility that the women's will switch to 5 sets, and he's basically made a
Wow.
commitment that at some point, possibly next year, but almost certainly in 2027, they are going to try out 5-set matches, but with a slight possibility that it may only be in the latter stages of the tournament, which I'm opposed to the 5-setters because I just don't know. There's no way Ostapenko can play 5 sets. Like, there's just she struggles enough to play 3 sets. I can't even imagine what it would look like as she starts her 5th set, like, just her on the ground wheezing as the 5th set starts off. But and I not just to pick on Ostapenko, but
I mean, they would have to train for it, right? I mean,
yeah, for sure. But yeah, but if you imagine, if you're struggling in the 3 sets, it's not a you should be training for a tough 3-setter, and if you're already struggling in a tough 3-setter, how are you gonna handle a 4th set and a 5th set? Like, the all the fitness training in the world, that probably means you're gonna have an issue. You're not gonna double your, sort of, aerobic fitness in a one-off season. But you sh the thing I don't like, it would be super gimmicky if it's like, no, 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, 3 sets, semifinal and final 5 sets. Because you'll be pissed then if you're, say, hypothetically Sabalenka and you win the opening 2 sets to final. And in every Australian Open that's ever existed
yeah,
before, you're the Australian Open champion and now you lose a 5-setter. I think that would piss me off.
yeah. And also, I think again though, with the training aspect of it too, like if you're training to always play 3 sets and then all of a sudden now in this round, now you have to go to 5, that's a little unfair. I mean, you can't really practice or train for that.
And if every other tournament you play is 3 sets. So then
Yeah,
on top of it, yeah, you're not you had to either really focus on the Australian Open, which I guess that would be the possibility is maybe you would say there are certain tennis players who'd be more suited to that. So it's kinda interesting for them that suddenly this in the same way that you'd be like, "Oh, you're a really good clay court player." Now you'd be like, "You have a huge amount of stamina." So you have the luxury now of just trying to get into sort of, mudslinging matches and hope you're gonna have to grind me down to beat me in 4 sets, 5 sets. But, which I guess would be interesting. You'd have like Australian Open specialists with nothing to do with hard court. They're just exceptionally fit and willing to lose the opening 2 sets and then hope that you just fall apart like back end of set 3.
But be good enough that they can make the semis.
Yeah, and qualify for the tournament in the first place.
Yeah.
That's the other obstacle as well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now I'll spring my surprise on you. So I
Ooh.
don't know, have you been looking at Tom Brady's Instagram account by any chance?
No, actually, I don't think I follow Tom Brady.
I don't either, but it's came across my feed.
You just check up every day. You don't
Just
follow, but you
checking.
just
Just
every day check it.
I just make sure Tom's doing okay, see what's going on in the stories. And it turns out Tom Brady sometimes posts stories like a teenage girl, and it reminded me of a certain someone, and I am not gonna throw you under the bus, to use this expression for the second time today, by sharing an image that is of you that is eerily similar to the one of Tom Brady. However, Tom Brady posted this story on his Instagram yesterday, and I could not help but think of you. That that takes me back that takes me back to a picture of Frank Duca 10 years ago.
It
I
might
could
be more
do
than 10 years ago. Might be pushing
uh,
like 15 years ago.
I could do a side by side where it would be difficult to distinguish between the 2 of you.
I feel good about myself now if I'm getting copied by Tom Brady.
Yeah. So for those, we will post this on our social media. I'm gonna post the picture of you, but I'm gonna do one of those big, like, emoji smiley faces that people do when they don't want their child to be seen. I'm gonna do that one. But it's a picture of Tom Brady, sort of lying in bed, very close up picture of his face with a caption that reads, "Okay, major move from the couch back to the bed. This is what Sunday is all about."
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Isn't he like 45 years old?
Yeah, he's, close to 50 at this stage because he retired when he was 45, right?
Oh, that's funny.
'Cause he
I thought
posted it.
your surprise was gonna be you're gonna have Ollie pop on for a tenable.
No, but because he also posted, I'll share the other one. This was the first one. So this is before he made it back to the bed. This was him on the couch.
What
I
is
mean,
wrong with I might
the
have one of
only
those too I can send you.
good, thank you. The only good news is that this completely dispels any thoughts that anyone would have that Tom Brady's social media accounts are managed by, like, a team, because
A
unless
team, no. A teen?
a
Maybe.
teen, yes, maybe a team of teens, but
Maybe.
because otherwise, the process that this would have to go through, which would have to be him taking it and being like, "Guys, I've got some really great content. You need to post this soon." And then sending it over and them saying, "Thanks, Tom. Looks great. We'll get it up as soon as possible. Going live now." That would be incredible
Be
and
sure to put a
probably
lot of emojis into it.
yeah, probably impossible to imagine. So, yeah, Tom Brady is at home, just a good thing he tagged NFL on Fox in that too. I'm sure they're very pleased that they got the they got the
I'm
mention.
sure they reposted it.
Probably. That's probably how I came across it in all likelihood. But, yeah, quite a bizarre move for Tom Brady. Maybe slight concerns about how his mental state is suffers on non-football Sundays. So, what is gonna happen to him once the Super Bowl is played next week?
We're just gonna live the life.
Yeah, just couch to bed, couch to bed, couch to bed.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, especially when you have hundreds of millions of dollars in your bank account and yeah. No, it doesn't I don't blame him for that being his Sunday. I just find it bizarre that he's posting that on Instagram. There's no judgment on the activity. Like, staying in the world of football, but switching a little bit to college football, even though it's the off season. I don't know if you saw, but Ohio State announced that they're opening up for tenders. They are going to have a sponsorship logo on their jerseys moving forward. This
I
also
saw this.
comes off the heels too of the University of Utah, which took investment from a venture capital firm into their football program. So this is a greater shift as NIL has taken over, just the sort of constant focus on the monetization of college football and how that money can then be sort of re-pumped into NIL deals or whatever else it's being used for. And I think this is the death. We've already spoken negatively about the impact of NIL, but I feel like this is the death of college football. This is like everything, the reasons why people always loved college football, which were they're just in it for the
It's
love of the
pure,
game. It's pure, yeah.
pureness.
Not so pure anymore.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I mean, we've talked about this so many times that it just feels like now this is becoming minor league football in a way, or like just pre NFL football. And I think at some point, and maybe they have been talking about this or trying this. I think at some point you're just gonna get a minor league football, like, whatever program that's gonna emerge, and will start poaching some players, and then eventually you're just gonna find the end of college football. Or college football completely breaks apart from the academic side of things. Because I was also listening to an interview yesterday about from Gavin McKenna, who is a hockey player on Penn State, who's probably going to be the first or second draft pick in the NHL. And he normally, like a lot of NHL players, normally wouldn't go into college. They would just stay in like the OHL or whatever and then get drafted and then go to the minors. But because now of NIL, they can make so much money and they can play decent players at decent levels that now they go into college for no more than a year or two, make a ton of money on NIL deals, and then go to the NHL. So literally, they were talking to him like, "Oh, what are your classes?" His classes are like fly fishing, Rex and park management, and then an independent study. Like, this is not college. Like, you're not in academia. Like, it I don't understand. At what point are we just gonna say, like, "Don't even bother going to classes?" Because he's not gonna stay for a degree. He's leaving in he's going to college for 1 year to make $5 million in NIL money, play and practice his game, and then go to the NHL. Like, that's not college. That's not university. Like, there's no point that this should be one thing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that was exactly what you spoke about was even exposed further, right, by Carson Beck, who playing for Miami, but has already graduated.
Yeah,
So
2
he was
years
asked
ago.
about it. Yeah, so, like, you got a guy he's just a professional college football player at this stage, like, he's not taking classes, and good on him for graduating early and doing all those stuff, even though I'm sure he took the easiest courses possible, mostly online courses, and sort of had that system game for him, to the nth degree. But yeah, what's the point? Like, how can you be representing the University of Miami, a school that he will have never taken a class at because he's transferred. So he's literally just transferred there to be a quasi professional football player. It's just kind of dumb. And at a certain stage, got to call a spade a spade. Obviously, this system is even going to be further tested because I don't know if you saw, but Amari Bailey, the NBA player, he is preparing, he's hired an agent and a lawyer because he's going to challenge the NCAA. He was drafted into the NBA and entered the NBA. He wants to go back to college basketball, and he is going to challenge the NCAA eligibility rules, stating that it's unfair for him to be no longer allowed to play college basketball on the basis that he played professional basketball. And so he is preparing to take them to court to see if he is able to go back to college and play NCAA basketball again.
Yeah, it's crazy. And listen, my issue isn't with the players. Like, I have no issue with Gavin McKenna doing that because, like, I would do the same thing if I wanted to make money, but I'm not ready to go to the pros, but I want a good level of competition. And you're getting these offers. That's fine and that's great. And I would do that. My issue is with Like, why are we still considering this any tie to a university? Like, at some point, there just needs to be minor league college. I don't know what you would do. Like, that's to me why it's crazy that there hasn't been, especially for the NFL, for football, a like minor league program that's developed that just kind of takes over. And I understand probably people always still want to root for Ohio State and for Michigan because there's traditions and this and that. But I mean, what's the tradition anymore? That you pay a guy $5 million so you can watch him on the field and he never actually represents the university in any way but putting on a uniform that says the university's name? Like, there's not much tradition left in that.
No, and then what's worse is the next year he gets offered $6 million by a different school and he leaves. Because
Yeah.
again, I have no issue. I'm all for college athletes making money to play. Like I think that's great. And as we've spoken about in the past, especially when you deal with a lot of college athletes who will not go pro. And I think there should be some element here of kind of some of your NIL money almost being stuck in escrow, and that when you go pro, that money then gets distributed amongst your teammates and stuff. Like there's in a sense, you're getting paid, you're sort of getting paid after you leave the school based on whether or not you get to play that sport professionally. I think to me that's something I would be more comfortable with. But regardless, I'm fine with athletes making money. What I'm not fine is that we've created this system where now we've gone from one extreme to the other, where one side it was like they don't make any money, everybody else makes money, and they're kind of treated, for lack of a better word, as kind of slaves by the college sports system. And then now it's like, oh, they're beholden to nothing. They take a $5 million NIL deal one year, and then it's just a bidding war on them the following year. And they will transfer every single season if they want to, as long as someone else is going to pay them more money. Like that to me is just insane. We've overcompensated and you're going to kill the sport. If you care about college sports, you're definitely going to kill them in the process. Like, and in the case of college basketball, you might say that this Amari Bailey case and the possibility here, like, which NCAA basketball was one and done if you were good, that maybe this will convince more players to stay for a couple of years and get decent money and develop more. So maybe that works in basketball. But in college football, where you're locked into the 3 year minimum anyway, it's not like they need the money to convince them to go and convince them to stay. It's just sort of insane that now we're just like, I don't enjoy the fact that next year you're going to be like, I don't know who the quarterback of big
Oh,
programs
yeah.
now is going to be because half of them will transfer. And then I'll be tuning in week one and be like, oh, why is that guy the quarterback of Nebraska now? He was the quarterback of like Notre Dame last year. It's like, yeah, they offered him, they doubled his NIL money and he left.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's true. Like, it'll be, I would like to see some stats on that actually going into next year, what the turnover rate is for, let's just say, quarterbacks, right? Because like I'm just thinking Big Ten. You said Nebraska, they'll have a new quarterback because Dylan Raiola went into the transfer portal, so he's gone. Penn State has a new quarterback because the Iowa State coach is now the Penn State coach, and he brought the Iowa State quarterback with him. So now that's the second team that has another one. Like those are two teams already, just off the top of my head, that will have new quarterbacks for no other reason than that a player wanted more money at a different place and another one wants to follow his coach, which maybe that one's a little more valid, but at the same time, I'm sure he's making more money at Penn State than he did at Iowa State. So
Yeah. And it's funny, right? Because when I used to debate people about whether or not college athletes should be paid, part of my argument as to why, in the sense they
you
shouldn't,
debated people? You don't seem like someone who would
I know
argue
I
against
rarely have
someone
a strong opinion on things, but
on
part of my
things.
argument, part of my argument always was the reason why they shouldn't be paid is because the individual doesn't matter at all. Like people are tuning in. You're an Ohio State football fan. You watch Ohio State football. Like the guys underneath the helmets kind of don't matter. Yes, you want the team to be better, but even if the team is bad, you're probably still watching Ohio State games. And you kind of have this captive audience. Now, there would
Did
come
you
a
pull
moment
the
in,
like, and this is why Penn State doesn't put the names on the back of the jerseys?
I
Did you
didn't,
use that
but
one?
that's no, but like I fundamentally believe in that. And in a sense, with the way the transfer portal is now being used, my point's kind of being proven because the counter to that always would be Well, actually, people really care about results, and people like the fact that over 3 years, you get to know these guys, and you stick with them, and you get to see them improve. It's like, well, now you don't. 'Cause the guys who are sticking with you, it's either because 'cause you're already really, really good and paying them the most money they can get, or because they're not quite good enough and no one else wants them. But if they're better than your program, they're gone. So this idea that like, "Hey, no, it's really cool," like, you get to see Josh Allen for 3 years and you get to be like, "No, no, he's way better than us." Like, trust me, in the NFL, he's gonna be great. It's like Josh Allen wouldn't be there now for 3 years. He would have transferred after year 1 to, like, a mid-tier school, and then by his 3rd year, he's probably the starting quarterback at a Big Ten or SEC school because that's just how his progress would have gone.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and, like, it's not so long ago, like, even when I was at Penn State, you would have a quarterback come in, and it would be like, "Oh, he's not good this year, but give him some time in the system, let him develop, let him mature, and, like, he could be a good quarterback," and you'd see quarterbacks progress from year to year. You don't ever see that anymore on the same team. It's just they're constantly laterally transferring from place to place, and you're just getting new quarterbacks in every year.
Yeah, and also it's sort of, like, you have situations like at Michigan, right, where with Bryce Underwood, who had a sort of underwhelming freshman season. And now everyone's caught in you speak to Michigan fans, they're like, "Actually, we'd probably be happy if he transfers because 'cause we're not actually sure he's that good." So that would be cool. So the lack of loyalty now spreads both sides, whereas previously, there would have been a commitment from University of Michigan fans. They probably would have been vehemently telling everybody, like, "No, that was a bad freshman year, but trust us, by either next year or the year after, he's gonna be the best quarterback in college football. Like, we know what we were doing, and we're gonna stick by our guy." Now it's like, we secretly hope he transfers somewhere else because we think he might be like a dead weight that we could get off our shoulders. And I don't know if you saw Dabo Sweeney had some proposals to try and deal with the transfer situation, which I actually think made
Yeah, of
sense.
course, because his team sucks now because he refuses to take transfers.
But I thought his proposal made sense. I don't know, did you see what he put forward?
He just wants to keep money under the table like it was when he was really good.
No, he said every athlete can get 1 free transfer. So you can transfer once and you get an additional transfer if your head coach is fired or leaves. So it puts you in the position then of like, "No, I came here to be with this guy, now he's gone." But other than that, if you use either more than that 1 free transfer or you don't have those additional sort of mitigating circumstances, then you have to sit out a year if you transfer. I think it kinda makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not terrible,
I mean, that's not
but you
super
still get
restrictive.
it's not super restrictive because think about if you come in as a freshman, you redshirt, you don't play. Then year 2, you play, you do well. You then get a free transfer, which would then be, like, technically your sophomore season. You then play, and then you're eligible for
Yeah,
the NFL. So
yeah.
technically, you could still play like 1 season, transfer 1 season, and then NFL and gone. So it doesn't really solve much. It makes it a little more difficult. It solves
Yeah,
probably
and
like some more mid-level people, like from
yeah.
but are there that many people that are transferring? It's not that people are I mean, people are transferring 3 different universities, but that's not super common. It's more the fact that just every single person is transferring at least once, so you have a crazy amount of turnover.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the thing is if you thought you only had 1 transfer, you might be a little bit more hesitant to go. Like, right now, you have the luxury of, like, if I go there and I don't like it, I'll just go somewhere else next year. Like, this is okay. Like, I hold all the power. Someone else is gonna take me, and maybe it will be a downgrade. Like, maybe I'll end up going from Alabama to Florida State. Like, it's not gonna be but if I'm the star of Florida State, that's still better than being the 12th best player on Alabama. That might make you think a little bit more strategically about the school you go to initially and also the transfer. The negative for that, I suppose, is that it pushes a lot more power back in the direction of the kind of powerhouse schools because It's like, yeah, well, we'll pick off the real stars, but to kind of go back to
Yeah.
that Josh Allen comparison, the guy who starts really low and then kind of makes the mid-tier step, he might not make that step anymore because he's gonna hold out hoping that, like, a top 20 team comes in for him at some point.
Yeah.
Or you just sabotage your head coach. You just like you really want that other free transfer and you're the quarterback, you just go and throw 9 interceptions and you get your head coach fired, and then you get the additional free transfer. We've already got massive gambling and betting scandals in US sports. Why not throw into strategically getting your coach fired so that you can transfer programs?
Let's do it.
Any other, sports topics to discuss?
Yeah, I know we're gonna do our Super Bowl preview on next episode, so we have plenty of time for our listeners to listen to our tips and our takes. Just as a little lead up into it, I found a interesting Drake May potential bad stats leading into the Super Bowl. So these are the type of stats that I know you love. So these are three I have about Drake May and his potential Super Bowl loss. So starting QBs with the last name less than 5 letters long have never won a Super Bowl, Eddie. Did you know that? Drake May, 4 letters.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, most surnames are at least 5 letters long, so it's not yeah, yeah, it's not that doesn't change my opinions going into this game one way
All
or the
right. All
other.
right. How about this one? Super Bowl starting QBs whose first and last name end in the same letter are 0 and 6. So E for Drake May.
Yeah, yeah, if I was able to figure that one out. I guess the only counter to that would be that Tom Brady goes by Tommy. Now, it's true
With
though, because you
IE
hear,
though.
like
How do we know it's not IE?
no one does that. But he does, you hear,
Tom
like,
Brady
Julian
might do IE.
you hear Julian Edelman and stuff call him Tommy. So and again, this is official name, and I guess maybe Tom Brady's official name anyway is Thomas Brady, perhaps on his birth certificate or passport, but, that would be my and I'm sure. But anyway, still, these weird name coincidences are not
Okay, I
I'm
got
not
one
picking
more
the
for you.
Patriots, but this isn't I'm not feeling even more confident now.
Maybe this one sways you. Super Bowl starting quarterbacks with the initials
Oh
DM.
god.
0 and 2 in the Super Bowl.
Okay, let me try and think of who the other one is.
That was going to be my question is who are they? There's two of them.
Are either of them within the last 25 years?
One is, the other one right on the edge.
So a 90s and
And
like
and
a
a our lifetime one.
our lifetime.
One is a Hall of Famer,
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, yes.
So then I gotta get the more recent one I'm
The more
missing.
recent one. Was good for a long time, actually, but had a lot
Donovan
of
McNabb.
yeah, yes. Donovan McNabb. I'll say had a lot of haters. So will Drake May fall into the DM trap?
Well, I mean, I think he will because I'm gonna pick the Seahawks to win. So all of those statistics can be proven to be correct.
Furthered.
But, but yes, but by sheer coincidence rather than correlation. But yeah, next episode we can do our deep Super Bowl preview. I'm working on the high production value is coming in for a surprise I've got coming for you. So look
Wow.
forward to that.
Okay. Are you gonna have that on-field reporter from Sky Sports tune in?
No, I'm gonna be an on-field reporter for the Big Chill podcast. That's we're gonna do a
Eddie, it
live
looks like the weather out there is good. How
It's
good is
cold.
it?
It's cold. It's colder than you think it is. I'm wearing a coat. Yeah. I mean, you should laugh that a former on-field reporter is running for office in your state.
Yeah.
'Cause those skills really talk about correlation, those 2 skills. I've always thought I see those calm and composed on-field reporters going, "Hey, coach, how'd you feel that second half go?" And I think, "You should be in charge of tax policy."
Hey, listen, Jesse the Body Ventura was governor here.
Yeah, but he has actually strong opinions on stuff. Like, I actually I I think we could probably do with him coming back slightly. But to get you in a Super Bowl mood, and I guess that kind of wraps up, uh, to make the I thought I would do a Tenable themed
No.
Tenable game.
For right now? Or is this
Yes.
for our Super Bowl
No, this
preview?
is for now. We're gonna ease our way into it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll go full TV show host for you. Welcome to Tenable, the show where we ask for the top 10 of, well, anything. I'm Edward, and today we're headed to the gridiron. You're playing for a virtual jackpot. All you have to do is provide the 10 answers that fit the specific Super Bowl category below. Give me a wrong answer, and you're out of the round. I'm going to give you 2 wrong answers.
Okay.
Here is your Super Bowl board. The category, Super Bowl superstars. The top 10 players with the most career Super Bowl passing touchdowns of all time.
Okay. Am I starting? All right, we
Go
gotta
for it.
go Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, number 1 with 21 career Super Bowl touchdown passes.
Okay. Well, he probably beat his idol, Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, number 2 with 11 Super Bowl touchdown passes. So
Okay.
10 fewer. Huge drop off from number 1 to number
Yeah.
2, which should worry you because the issue here is if you've already seen the drop off from 21 to 11 from 1 to 2, the number gets pretty small pretty fast.
Uh, is it they don't have to have won the Super Bowl, they just have to have been in the Super
Nope.
Bowl.
Just been in the
Okay.
Super Bowl and thrown a touchdown pass.
All right, I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes then.
Patrick Mahomes, number 3 with 10 Super Bowl touchdown passes. So you've gone
Okay.
1, 2, 3 on your first 3 guesses.
All right, I'm gonna go I'm trying to think of, like, teams that won in chunks. I'm gonna go Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman, number 8 with 5 Super Bowl touchdown
5?
passes.
That's it?
Yes,
Did Emmitt Smith run every fucking touchdown in?
mostly.
Oh, I got one. I got one. Along the same lines, Terry Bradshaw's gotta be up there because
Terry
he actually
Bradshaw,
did throw a lot.
number 4 with 9 touchdown passes.
Okay. Okay. So what do I give me a recap so far. What do I got?
You've got Tom Brady 1, Joe Montana 2, Patrick Mahomes number 3, Terry Bradshaw 4, and then Troy Aikman 8. So you're missing 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10.
Okay. Oh boy. This is where it's gonna get tough. Oh boy. Oh, let's go. All right. If Montana's up there, maybe Steve Young's up there. Let's go Steve Young.
Steve Young, number 7 with 6 Super Bowl touchdown
Oh
passes.
God. All right.
So you're missing 5, 6, 9, and 10.
I want to say Eli Manning, but those were low scoring games.
Do you wanna say it, or are you going to say it?
I'm thinking. Shit. What's the sorry, I know I asked it. I have Troy Aikman's the lowest. How many is that?
5.
And he's number 8.
Yes. And a clue, number 9 also has 5 touchdown passes.
I just don't think Eli's gonna be on there. That would mean he'd probably have to have at least 4 to hit 10. Did he have that many in 2 Super Bowls? Fuck it, I'll say it. Let's go Eli.
Eli Manning, number 10 with 4 touchdown passes.
He
He
is?
is he is. He is tied with several other players.
Oh, so you're gonna give it to me on a technicality?
Yes. So you could have
Okay.
named any one of 4 players to be correct for number 10.
Who were the other Oh, actually, don't tell me yet,
I
obviously, 'cause
can't
I'm still
tell you
guessing.
'cause,
I know, I get it. All right.
so you
Who's
are
been to
missing, to
multiple
recap,
Super
you're missing
Bowls?
5, 6, and 9.
Okay.
My clue
Who's
would
been
be, I think one of them is super obvious, and then 2 of them not none of them are, like, that stunning, but there's one surprisingly obvious one that you've missed, and then 2 others that are a bit trickier.
Okay. I'm just working my way through some Super Bowls here. Russell Wilson's been to 2, threw an interception at the end. Um, ooh, wait. Peyton Peyton Manning. I mean, I don't think he threw
Peyton Manning,
any.
3 Super Bowl appearances, Peyton Manning.
I know, but the Broncos one didn't even count. He could barely even throw the ball. He had a noodle arm. And I'm missing what's the window?
What do you mean?
Aikman is 5, and then above him, I'm
So,
missing 2.
you're missing 2 between 9 and 5.
Okay.
No, 9 and
And then
6 because you have Steve Young.
oh, okay. Oh, so
So you're
that would mean
missing
he'd have to have thrown at least 6.
you've got
I'll
someone
throw
who's
6.
you've got 2 players who've thrown between 6 and 9, and 1 player who's thrown, well, I'll make it because he's tied. You got 1 player who's thrown 5.
Okay. Alright, let's say Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning is not on the list.
Shit. I knew he wasn't. Fucking noodle arm on Denver.
My one other clue to help you, 3 different generations within the 3 remaining quarterbacks that you have.
Oh, great. Alright. Let's keep going back then. Then you had Oh, okay, I got one. Brett Favre.
Brett Favre, number 9 on the list with 5 touchdown passes. I'll actually
Alright.
take that back, and you'll understand why I have to take this back afterwards. Uh,
'Cause
the
of the
other
dick pic?
one of the other ones is actually in the same generation of quarterbacks as Brett Favre from an age
Oh, okay.
perspective. That's a that's a clue. It's a pretty solid
Okay, so
clue.
who was around the same time as Brett Favre? Who was winning all those Super Bowls then? The Packers? Keep going back. He was around. Ooh, the greatest show on turf? Kurt Warner? That
Kurt
all they did
Warner.
was throw the ball.
Kurt Warner with 6 touchdown passes. So he was the one
Oh,
who I was,
right.
like, kind of in the same generation as Brett Favre from an age perspective, but sort of wouldn't put him in the same generation based on when he
Okay.
actually entered the league because of the time it took
So I'm
him.
just missing one, and
You're
it's a
missing 1.
different generation is what you're saying.
It's older. Yeah.
Fuck. Oh.
I'll give you the,
Older, was I even born when they played?
no. Pretty sure he
Oh,
retired
fuck.
before you were born. Let me just
Alright,
check. He
I'll
retired.
go
Yes,
Bart Starr.
He retired well before either one of us was born. It is not Bart Starr. So
Fuck.
you unfortunately have not won Tenable. The answer was Roger Staubach, who
Oh,
threw for
Staubach, yeah.
8
Shit.
touchdown passes, which if you think about
He
it,
played in a lot of
in
Super Bowls,
that
didn't he?
time period, it's a lot of touchdown passes to throw.
Yeah. We played in a lot of Super Bowls. Didn't he play in, like, 4 or 5?
And so the other players you could have named instead of Eli Manning were Jim Plunkett, Doug Williams, and Russell Wilson.
Oh, okay, so Russell Wilson would've been okay. Now, what if I had named Russell Wilson after naming Eli Manning? Do you give me a
Would have been
pass on
incorrect.
that?
No.
Oh, bullshit.
Well, because he's not top 9 and you already named 10.
See, now technically, I don't know if you can do a tenable if there's multiple answers for 10.
Well, sorry.
It would have to be the most recent most touchdown passes or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I could have done this century, and that probably would have narrowed it down.
Yeah.
In fairness, the only player who would have been eliminated, well, who didn't play post 2000, it would have eliminated Montana, Staubach, Bradshaw. Steve Young make it to the year 2000?
No.
He
No.
retired in 1999. Just misses out. But yeah, I'll put more effort as part of the Super Bowl. We'll have a lot more tenable going on. So that's something for our listeners to look forward to. Play along at home. I think with that type of one too, the pace of play is good enough that you can actually play along at home without us having to sort of intentionally pause. That's the nice thing.
So, yeah, it is nice. So, what I did like about there's a good tenable the other day where it was the final and it was I forget what you have like 2 choices you can make, and the one was Leonardo DiCaprio was one of the categories. I forgot what the other one was, and they went with Leo, and I was very confident. And then the question was, name the last 10 movies Leonardo DiCaprio has been in that had more than 3 words in the 3 or more words in the title. And this was you have to take in mind this was from,
Oof.
like, 2022. But, like,
So
instantly, I started
one battle
thinking
after another is gone.
that didn't count, and Killers of the Flower Moon also didn't count because those weren't there yet.
Yeah.
But, like, I started thinking, and then every movie I could think
Yeah,
of
like
was, like, 1 or
Revenant.
2 words. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'd never even thought of this. This is crazy."
So, like, Catch Me If You Can would have to be on that list because he doesn't make
Yeah,
that many
Catch Me If You Can was
movies.
on it. Yeah, yeah. I got a
That's
decent
tough.
amount, but I wouldn't have gotten it because there were 2 that I wouldn't have gotten. The 2 so someone said "The Blood Diamond," and I was like, "No, no way, girl. It's Blood Diamond. It's not The Blood Diamond." But, the ones that I wouldn't have gotten were, the 2 oldest ones. Well, also, you kinda get screwed because Romeo and Juliet doesn't count because it was Romeo plus Juliet,
Mm,
which is
that seems
crazy.
harsh.
But
'Cause
Yeah,
no one 'cause see, I would dispute that based on say the name of the movie for me.
yeah. It's
'Cause
weird.
the implication would have to be that the name of the movie there was Romeo Juliet, because if you even say the plus, that's a 3rd word.
I know, but it's literally the plus sign. I had said, "What's Eating Gilbert Grape?" I thought I nailed it on that one, but that was number 11. Number 10 was The Basketball Diaries.
Mm,
Never would have gotten that.
no.
A and number 9 was The Man in the Iron Mask. Someone got that, I would not have gotten that.
With enough thinking, that's popped up on some YouTube shorts for me in the not so distant past. So that one I could have probably pulled on. There's no way I would have got all 10 though.
Yeah. Would you
Just
have
no
gotten
chance.
Body of Lies?
No.
Someone got that one. That was a good one.
No. No way.
But that's what I
Don't
love
look
about that
Don't
show
Look
is,
Up
like,
comes to mind,
you
so
get so
there's
confident. Yeah, Don't Look Up was number 1 at the time. Like, you can get so confident in that game, and then there's always, like, 1 or 2 where you're just like, "Fuck, I cannot think of this." Like, it's 10 is a lot, that's why. Like, 10's a good amount to have to know of something.
yeah. And I guess maybe final topic, I guess I have to address, news coming out of Ewood Park. Blackburn Rovers have parted way with their manager, Valerian Ishmael,
Oh,
according
you called
seemingly
it.
by yeah, well, called it about 7 months ago, so took a while. But yeah, Valerian Ishmael is gone, according to the club statement, left by mutual consent, which
Left by taxi.
hard yeah, hard to believe mutual consent because I don't know whatever if anyone in the future ever employs Valerian Ishmael in anything related to football, like, okay, he can go get another job, but if a football club employs him, they've made a massive mistake. So, I just can't if he has somehow agreed to leave, I mean, you know, yeah, uh, unbelievable. So,
Yeah,
who knows which
another disappointing
who
loss for Blackburn, and they are not looking good right now for staying afloat here.
yeah, it turns out that if you sell all of your really experienced best players, and then you try and replace them with players who've never played in the league before, and oftentimes who've come from having relatively serious injuries elsewhere. Like, they're in the midst of a relegation scrap. They're in the drop zone. They have a must-win game tomorrow against Sheffield Wednesday, which I'm glad that they got rid of Valerian Ishmael before tomorrow because, I mean, Sheffield Wednesday are by far and away the worst team in the league, and there is a chance that no matter who's in charge, they would have won that. And it's obviously always awkward to then try and fire someone where it's like, "But I won my last game." It's like, so it's the smart move. You give the chance to like the fresh start. The interim manager gets to come in and get a win, hopefully right off right off the bat. But yesterday they signed another player, or I guess actually he completed his transfer today, and he's not played for 3 months. And how are you gonna come in and be he by the time he's actually has full match fitness and is really able to contribute, they might be relegated. Like, it's
That's
insane.
crazy.
And I look forward to I hope we have Rudy Gestede back on the podcast soon and we can speak to him about it because the decisions that they're making from a management of the club is just baffling. Like, baffling.
Well, I didn't think we would talk about championship, but it did pop onto my radar that Wrexham have now moved into a potential playoff spot
Yeah, it
for
breaks my heart.
promotion. How are we feeling about that, Eddie?
Um, I mean, I don't think they'll be in the playoffs come the end of the season. That being said, they are showing a willingness to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so, who knows. There's rumors of some pretty big names and, possibly spending, 15 million plus on players in the championship, which is crazy, especially when you're not a relegated side. You sometimes see Premier League teams doing that because they sell a star for 70 million and then they bring in like the best player in the championship and they have to kind of spend a bit on that. But yeah, I mean, enough money, they'll get there eventually. They don't have a chance of cracking the top 2. So as long as once you eliminate automatic promotion, the playoffs become such a tricky thing. And it's tough for me because I won't say every club because we've had one of the owners of Ipswich on, so I'll say positive things about Ipswich Town. I don't like Millwall, I don't like Wrexham, I don't like Derby, I don't like Preston. So, like, all the clubs that are competing for sort of the 4th till 8th spot at the moment, I'm not really a huge fan of. Bristol City, they can go ahead and squeeze in, that's fine. But, yeah, it's just really depressing. Again, kind of just swing it back to Blackburn because saw a stat that, John Eustace, who left Blackburn about a year ago, when he left, they were sitting 7th and Derby were 22nd. And then 12 months later now, Derby are sitting 7th and Blackburn are 22nd. So that was a smart managerial move by Blackburn Rovers. And then just you look at other clubs who, like in recent seasons, have been there or thereabouts with Coventry, Middlesbrough, Hull, Millwall, all of whom have been able to invest smartly and put together good squads and kind of build. I don't know. I think the issues within the club were kind of exposed in the interview that we did with Rudy Gestede, where it was just clear, like, is promotion even a priority? And he wouldn't say it was. And I
Yeah.
don't think it is. Like, I don't think it's the plan. The plan is just sensibly running a football club, but doing it in the least sensible way possible. Like, it's as if for people who, it's as if you owned a restaurant and you were like, what's the annoying part about owning a restaurant? The fucking customers. Like, they just like, they want things and we want a smooth operation. Like, I wanna be in the back in the kitchen just churning out food and making it as the way I wanna make it. And it's like, that's great, but you need the customers. Otherwise, there's no point in any of what you're doing. And in a sense, what Blackburn are doing is they're saying, we don't give a shit about the supporters. So we'll do everything possible to piss them off. And when they're annoyed, we won't listen to any of their complaints. And we also won't even try to really win football matches, which is the other reason for us existing. So like the reason why the reason for our existence, which is to be a successful football club in terms of winning matches, we don't care about that. And then at the same time, the only reason we can exist as a professional football club is because there are people who are willing to pay to come and watch us do things. They're actually fucking annoying. So we'd rather if they pissed off. And like, and somehow within that, they're hoping for some level of success, even if that success is they keep their own jobs, which, I mean, the club is just headed towards catastrophic financial collapse. And it will be
Yeah.
super depressing for me because I'm not going to be able to ever support another club. That's gonna be the sad part. It's just gonna make me a sort of homeless football supporter. I'll just be I'll just be a sort of Bedouin wandering the world of football, sort of watching matches and kind of
I
be
remember when
invested in
I had
them.
a club.
Yeah, and then someone will be like, "Oh, who do you support?" Like, "No one now." "But you watch all the games?" "I'll watch everything. Don't support anyone. Never will." Actually, I mostly just hate all of these teams. Like, that's I mostly hate watching now. There's no love watching anymore. It's just pure hate watch. But anyway, there we go. Super depressing. It's what it is.
All right.
And
Well,
the actually, the saddest part about it too is, and there'll be people who listen to this who support other teams. This is the thing I would say is you go through these kind of stages of grief with incompetence of sports teams you support. And I've now reached the worst stage, which is apathy. Like, I actually don't really care what happens. And so I will still watch the games, but they have no real emotional impact on me, win or loss. It's just like, "Oh, that happened. This is a thing that happened in the world today, and I happened to watch it." Like, it doesn't my whoop would just be flatlining. during a Blackburn match at this stage. It would be like, you are as relaxed as you've ever been. But, like, it might mistake me for being asleep if I had it on during a Blackburn game. Like, my
It
God,
would
this
it
guy,
would like that if it did.
yeah, this guy rests. This guy now rests every Saturday between 3 and 5. What a weird sleeping pattern, but good for him. But I think that's the worst part is like there were a few years of disappointment and anger and frustration, and now it's just I'm completely apathetic. And I think I am part of a huge group of Blackburn supporters, and that's what they should be most worried about. Is it actually anger? That's part of fanaticism. That's not necessarily the worst thing. Pissing off your fans is kind of good at times because it shows they're emotionally invested still and have strong
Yeah.
opinions and care. When it's like, I really don't give a fuck what you do now. That's not good. That's
Hey,
every
the fans don't hate this move anymore
yeah. Social
because you
media,
don't have
zero
any fans
engagement.
left.
Yeah. Like, like the warning signs, the flares should be shot off the deck, like everything. That should be the biggest cause for concern now, but it won't be because they're all idiots. But, you know, we'll see what happens. And yeah, they're also being sued by their fucking kit manufacturer. I mean, how you manage to pull that off? Never heard of it. In all of the sports news I consume and various sports that I've watched, never heard of it. I thought in 2026, honestly, I thought there isn't a sports story I could imagine that I haven't previously seen. Like I thought we were kind of at that stage in the world of sport. Like everything I could think of, like what could possibly go wrong? And it's like, oh, being sued by the company that pays you to make the shirt. Didn't see that one coming. Didn't see it. Just couldn't imagine it.
So the Steve Tisch story didn't surprise you then?
I mean, like people being on the Epstein list, and I don't want to make light of the Epstein list because obviously some really awful things happened. Good God, I wish there were some current people at the Blackburn Rovers Football Club who are on the Epstein list. Like that might be our only hope. Like that's the only way out at this stage. But like, yeah, Steve Tisch being on the Epstein list, that's obviously major cause for concern for the New York Giants. I mean, maybe I was slightly surprised by the fact that the owner of the Memphis Grizzlies is like supplying Russia with weapons. That one took me a little bit by surprise. I don't feel like big enough deal is being made out of that story. Like that's the perfect storm of people not quite, I think even in the US, not really knowing where Memphis is or that they had an NBA team. And then also no one knows who this fucking billionaire is. And so a combination of all those events mean like, whatever. I guess that's happening. That's okay. The NBA shouldn't step in. They removed they removed Sterling as an owner of the LA Clippers because he said some racist things, which I'm not saying that isn't right, but that's way, way better.
That's the bar. That's the bar. All
Yeah.
you're saying is
Yeah.
that's the bar.
Yes. And they were right to get rid of him, but this guy is making his money and openly supporting a regime that is waging war against Europe and theoretically the West. And like we and that's like, well, come on, capitalism. He can make money how he wants. Like it's what? It's just really good drones. Let him sell them to whoever. If we want to buy the drones, we'll buy the drones. I mean, think about it. There's the star, Ja Morant, the star player for the Memphis Grizzlies, has been suspended multiple times for making gun gestures during games. That's no good. But if you make the guns that kill the people, that's okay. Like
And
the
sell
level
them
of
to like rival countries.
to the enemy, theoretically.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. We're okay with that. Just don't pretend to have the guns. There we go. It's good. We checked a few controversial topics off at the end there, so we'll
Yeah.
see how that goes.
All right.
Just wait,
Maybe
you
with
got me
that,
started one time. We're not far away from my rant about how we should be boycotting the World Cup in the US, so that I'll save that for post Super Bowl.
okay, good. I knew that was coming. I actually read an article about it the other day, and as I was reading this article, I thought, did Eddie write this article?
Was that the one in The Athletic that said, like, it's basically not possible? Was that the
I don't know. I don't
but
get a subscription to The Athletic, but it was something. No, I think it was The Guardian, actually.
yeah.
I think it was in The
But
Guardian.
yeah, seems unlikely to happen, but probably we
That's gonna
should
happen.
be.
All right. So should we call it a day with that?
Sounds good.
All right. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Cheerio.